Hi there, and welcome to my Itty Bitty Chapel. My name is Patty Chaffee, and I'm the community minister at Niantic Community Church. I'm also a spiritual director and an expressive arts facilitator. The Itty Bitty Chapel is a few moments offered midweek to relax, refresh, and reflect on a spiritual word or phrase. It's usually filmed in or near a sacred space within my home called the Itty Bitty Chapel, and our candles here are lit to remind us of the presence of Spirit within and around us. Our word for reflection this week is solitude. Jesus spent time alone in the desert early in his ministry, and he cured many who were suffering from diseases of one kind or another in Capernaum. In Mark 1:35 we read, "In the morning, long before dawn, he got up and left the house, and went off to a lonely place and prayed there." Later, Jesus spends time alone again, praying in the Garden of Gethsemane before his most difficult ministry. God calls us to be alone sometimes, to be alone with him, to be alone with ourselves. Both might be a little scary depending on your relationship with either one. Yes? And then there are folks like Henry David Thoreau, who embraced the solitude spectacularly, for a short time anyway. He has written, "I love to be alone. I never found the companion that was so companionable as solitude." I'm a big fan of solitude myself, and find it quite companionable. I also have an appreciation for writers who have shared their experiences of solitude through memoir, essay, poetry. I'm fond of Mary Oliver's work, and May Sarton, who also had an appreciation for solitude. Henry Nouwen, a Catholic priest, wrote a poignant little book called Out of Solitude, 3 Meditations on the Christian Life. The meditations were originally shared by him at Battelle Chapel at Yale University. In it, he reflects on the Mark scripture. Jesus was busy healing people in Capernaum and banging out miracles, and folks were just clamoring to be near him. And then later in the early morning, he goes off alone. I wonder why that was, what that was about for him that compelled him to do that. In the morning, long before dawn, he got up and left the house and went off to a lonely place and prayed there. The more I read this nearly silent sentence, writes Nouwen, locked between the loud words of action, the more I have a sense that the secret of Jesus' ministry is hidden in that lonely place where he went to pray. Early in the morning, long before dawn. In the lonely place, Jesus finds the courage to follow God's will and not his own, to speak God's words and not his own words, to do God's work and not his own. Jesus reminds us that we need God. We cannot walk this journey alone, right? Nouwen goes on, "It is in this lonely place where Jesus enters into intimacy with the Father that his ministry is born." It is in the lonely place where Jesus enters into intimacy with the Father that his ministry is born. I was going to ask you a question after reflecting on these words of Thoreau and Nouwen. Thoreau wrote, "I would rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion." I was going to ask you which you prefer, the pumpkin or the cushion. But after a little pondering, I think we need both. We need diverse and dynamic lives filled with quiet and sound, stillness and action, work and play. time together and time alone. How else will we hear what's going on within us? How else will we hear what God calls us to without that silence and solitude? Nouwen ends his reflection with, "Let us therefore live our lives to the fullest, but let us not forget to once in a while get up long before dawn, to leave the house and go to a lonely place." I possess a true appreciation for solitude. Not only does it help us to reflect on the journey and hear God speaking to us within, but it frees us and opens us to being better people when we return to our communities, be it a partner, a family, a church, or even our community of friends. With solitude comes peace, mindfulness, wisdom, harmony, questions. Does it last a day, a week, a month? Who knows? But for a time, we are transformed. Have a taste and see what is transformed in you. I leave you with a few minutes to reflect on how you might embrace more solitude in your life. And I thank you for sharing this video with your friends and family. I keep you in my prayers every day. And until next time, may God bless you in every way you need. Namaste.